Let's talk about the List Q3 2025 index. Yeah, someone says, I feel like the Labubu craze is already finished. I feel like it's still around, but it's kind of fizzling out. But I see what you mean. So let's look, the hottest brands. So let me have a look. Let me make sense of this list. I'm surprised that Valentino is on this list because I don't think that. Actually, no, I lied. I know why Valentino is on this list. Let me show you guys something actually, because you guys will not see this report anyway. You see it from me because I have, obviously, as someone that works in the industry, I have access to like all these like crazy stats and stuff because I just get sent stuff. Because I was about to say I don't know why, but I was like, actually, I take it back. I do know why Valentino is on that list. So the reason why Valentino is on this list, and this is one of the reports that Carla Otto does in collaboration with Lefty Insights. They do like kind of these like women's wear roundups where they collect all the stats and they earn media value and all these kind of things. And they had a stat on Valentino that I thought was really surprising. They had a stat of like the brands that, yes, the top brands by earned media value. And Valentino was top 5. I asked them, I was like, why is Valentino top 5? And they essentially said that Valentino is using like a lot of Thai influencers that are really famous and like Thai celebrities. So in Thailand and in like Korea, Valentino is like really buzzing. Really buzzing. So like people are really taking to what Sandra Michaela is like doing, which surprised me because like from where I'm sitting, I'm like, I feel like his Valentino is like stagnating. So that makes it, I just wanted to highlight that to say that that's why Valentino is still on that list, even though it seems like they shouldn't be on that list, but why? How does earned media value actually work? So there's like loads of different like stats that they take into account to like get earned media value. It's like how do I even describe it? Because it's like so many stats that they track. It's like searches, impressions, online impressions. It's like how many times people are searching the thing. It's like how many views like people get from videos about it and compile these views. So like on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. But they have like a way of like using machine learning to kind of like collect these stats basically. I think they will increase their until full ownership. Oh, you're talking about for Valentino. You're talking about Kering, right? Yeah, probably. But it seems like they're clearly doing really well. So going back to List Index, okay, so you have Valentino at 20. Stone Island is in the top 20. Let me see why Stone Island is here. Okay. I haven't been seeing a lot of Stone Island, so that's beyond me. It makes sense why Elia and Jacques Muse are down. There's not been a lot of buzz from them. Balenciaga, yeah, there's not been too much buzz. They're kind of in a transition period with Pio Paolo at this point. Let me continue having a look. Skims, I think, should be higher. I think, not that I'm a fan of Skims, but I think that Skims has been one of those brands that has been so buzzy, and I think it's been part of the news cycle and the media cycle recently. So I'm quite surprised it's not higher on this list. Gucci being up by 4 places, I mean, it goes without saying. We've seen kind of Demna's had a really strong start at Gucci, so that makes sense. Burberry going up makes a lot of sense too. A strong run with their campaigns, like the bus campaign, the fish and chips campaign they had. Daniel Lee's like collection was really his last, not the last collection, but the collection before, which I'm sure accounts to Q3. People really took well to that. That makes sense. Versace, I mean, Dario Vitale's debut. A lot of people are talking about that. There was a lot of stuff going there. Moncler, neither here nor there. Chloe being down makes sense. I think that Domenica Mali still doing really well there, but I think that the buzz is slightly lower from like when it started, so that makes sense. Ralph Lauren going up makes sense also. You had the whole conversation about like Martha's Vineyard and like Polo Ralph Lauren, and now that we're talking about quarter zips, Ralph Lauren might even be higher in Q4 if everyone is buying their Reve going down. That makes sense. Once again, they're in a transition period. Bottega Veneta going up, yeah, like they've said. Louise Trotter's debut collection. Not just that, to me, also Louise Trotter's campaigns that she's been doing have been really strong. People have really taken to that. They've expanded the launches of their fragrances, so there's a lot going on there. Prada going down 2 spaces, neither here nor there. Miu Miu still being at the top makes sense. Saint Laurent being at the top makes sense. I mean, those loafers, or what are they, like moccasins? I'm so sure it's going to be in this list index. I cannot stop seeing people wear it. There's like those loafers, and then the rose version. What are they called? Like an eel loafer. There's like moccasin looking loafer. I would have thought that the Roe and Saint Laurent, just based on those shoes alone, would be like 1 and 2 to be fair. And then COS being this high also makes all the sense in the world. Like we've been talking about why COS is like really high these days, considering like COS basically being like affordable the Roe, and the Roe being a buzzy trendy brand. So like I would expect it to be like Saint Laurent, the Roe, COS, and then Miu Miu, Prada, and then Coach, and then Bottega, and then go on from there. That's kind of how I thought it would be. I think Dior is going to be big in Q4 because I think J.W. Anderson just had his like women's wear debut. Of course, the men's wear debut happened, but yeah. So I think it's more of like a Q4 thing when people start like wearing the stuff and all of that. COS is basically what H&M wants to be. Yes, fact. COS is literally what H&M is trying to become. COS and the whole minimal / Scandi look is so over. I don't get it. It's definitely not over. The Row is all the rage right now. Honestly. Yep. So the Row steals from the past and COS steals from the Row. Real fashion human centipede. It's so true though. It's so true. This is interesting that COS is blown up in the States. Privacy advocate. Where in the States are you based? Are you based in New York? Because obviously New York is very like fashionful. I want to know like if COS is also really blowing up in like other parts of the US other than like New York. There is New York, and then the rest of the country is like 1 year behind. Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to. Okay, you're based in California. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. California is still like, I wouldn't say California is as, if I think of like the places that are most fashion forward, and this is like, I'm not American, so this is outside looking in, but I would say it's New York, and then it's Atlanta, and then it's like parts of California, like the Bay, LA, and then it's like Miami. That's how I see it anyway. That's how I've always seen it, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The Americans in the chat will correct me if I'm completely incorrect. But if COS takes over, we're headed towards an APC resurgence, and no sane human being wants that. Oh my God, remember the time when people were wearing APC denim and Isabel Marant sneakers? What a time. What a time to be alive. But anyway, let's see. Oh my God, I knew it. They had to talk about these loafers. Like, how can you, and they, wait, let me just skip, because we read through this, I want to see if like they talked about the road. Yes. Okay, I'm on the right track. These two loafers here, I'm surprised they're not 1 and 2 to be fair. Loafer and then the Row Ill Loafer. I cannot get rid of these two products on my timeline. Like, I cannot get rid of them. But let's see what they have to say. The Q3 Lyst Index lands at an inflection point for fashion. The season reflects an unusual mix of moods, uncertainty for brands mid-transition. That's kind of like what I was alluding to. So many brands are mid-transition, whether we're talking about Loewe, Balenciaga, even Dior kind of, Bottega kind of. So it's kind of like, yeah, fashion is in this like transitional period. And clarity for those doubling down on what they do best. All but 3 brands in the table move position this quarter, with the biggest swings coming from COS's breakthrough into the top 3, up 4 places since Q2, and Loewe sharply feeling the loss of J.W. Anderson, moving down 6 spaces. Amid creative reshuffles and collection recalibrations, one thing feels clear: the brands winning right now are those who know who they are. Saint Laurent strides confidently into first position for the first time, where others rewrite their codes. Saint Laurent's handwriting has only become sharper. The consistency of silhouette, slick sensuality, and unshakable confidence continues to cut through the noise. Searches for Le Loafer, Q3's second hottest product, rose an average of 66% month on month during the quarter. Priced at $1,000, the shoe distills the Saint Laurent philosophy: refined, subtle, and sophisticated. I will never understand how much luxury brands charge for their footwear. I just don't get it. Like, I talk about this all the time, but I'm a fan of like these like heritage British footwear brands, you know, the Grensons, the Churches, the Gagliano and Girlings, the John Lobs, and these companies all charge less than luxury brands for top of the range quality footwear. I will never understand how much these luxury store. And like these brands that I'm talking about, they aren't cheap. Like John Lobb is not cheap. Grenson, I bought Adrian loafers from Grenson that I've been saving up for like damn near a year, and they cost like I think like £450. And then I had to buy shoe trees that cost like 60, really expensive. So in all, it was like 510. And those are like top of the line, like Goodyear welted. If anything happens, I just take them to Grenson. They can fix it for me whenever I need. They have all the leathers in touch. They have everything, so I can just get them fixed whenever, forever, literally. So I will never understand the pricing of these shoes. But in terms of like what is really buzzing right now, these sort of moccasin style loafers are huge, especially in women's wear. It's quite luxury, still sustaining demand. The data shows simplicity and restraint continue to resonate with consumers seeking understated pieces across price points. Moving up 4 positions, COS becomes the world's third hottest brand with a 147% increase in searches this quarter. The Cosmere sweater, last appearing in Q4 2024, returns as one of this quarter's hottest items. I mean, that makes sense. It's now winter. It's to look for their quiet luxury staples, so everyone is flocking to COS for that. But let's see. The style encapsulates the brand's appeal: architectural restraint, understated warmth, and tactile minimalism that feels grown up without stiffness. Meanwhile, the row moves up 2 spaces into 4th position, with demand up 28% this quarter. In Q2, its flip-flop defined a summer trend this quarter. The Eel Loafer dominates searches, sitting neatly at an aesthetic dialogue with Saint Laurent's own. Oh my god. Those flip-flops by the row was consumerism's final boss. I'm not sure if you guys remember. Let me put that on the screen. I cannot believe that those flip-flops sold out. Like, people genuinely were obsessed with flip-flops at the row. These like flip-flops, there was like a colorway that was like red that people are really buying. But I cannot believe for the life of me that basic flip-flops, people were losing their minds over that, and like it was sold out. I just cannot believe it. People are really fashion victims. And I'm the guy that I'm just like, buy what you want to buy, be into whatever brand you're into. People are into different things. I think there's beauty in that. But I think there's just certain items where enough is enough and you have to like draw a line somewhere. Where I draw the line is like the Row flip-flops or like the Apple Issey Miyake collab. Like, that's where I draw the line. But moving on, still in 5th position, demand for Coach on Lyst rose 29% this quarter, with strong social buzz supported by high-profile sports ambassadors, product placements in the Devil Wears Prada 2, and partnership with the Summer I Turned Pretty. The Empire bag, this quarter's 10th hottest product, helped anchor the brand's summer success. Another American brand seeing digital culture-led growth is Ralph Lauren, rising 2 places with a 6% quarterly increase in searches. Taylor Swift's engagement announcement in a striped Ralph Lauren dress, number 9 in the hottest products, became an online flashpoint, blurring the line between celebrity endorsement and skillful brand story. Wow, the girlie's really Taylor Swift, it seems. That's crazy. Let's see. This I really want to read because I'm like, Stone Island. Interesting. Let me see what they say about Stone Island. 115% increase in demand for Stone Island on Lyst this quarter. American brands are resonating outside of the top 22. Madewell saw 34% growth this quarter, riding the wave of the mall brand renaissance, bringing brands like Gap and American Eagle back into the online conversation for younger shoppers. Brands are effectively capitalizing on moments of social media virality and tapping talent more relevant to Gen Z, such as Sydney Sweeney and Cat's Eye, to reach these audiences in a digitally native context. There's movement in the middle of the pack. Burberry climbs 4 positions with a 14% lift in demand this quarter as Daniel Lee's recalibration finds its audience. That's kind of what I was talking about in terms of, the recalibration and kind of the fact that people are really taking and warming to Daniel Lee's Burberry right now. And a lot of products, even like the campaigns like I talked about, the one with Bus Auntie in it, the one with where they went to like they did the Burberry Festival. There was the campaign they did with at the fish and chip shop. So they're really leaning into this like Britishness, and they're really like, I don't know. I found out that they actually did hire a new marketing team, and all those really cool campaigns came when that marketing team came. So it really is that marketing team that has like turned everything around for Burberry, to be fair. And that just shows you the power of marketing. But reading on, Skims continues its product-driven ascent with demand now up 271% year on year. That's why I said that I thought Skims would be higher. Because where was Skims again in this list? Skims is 15. Yeah, I would have thought that Skims would be way higher. For Q4, if Skims is not higher, I would be surprised. I'll be quite shocked. But reading on, viral launches like the face wrap sustained cultural dominance and led customers back to pieces like the nipple bra, which saw a 69% spike in searches this August, once again proving the brand's ability to turn conversation into conversion. Stone Island re-enters the index after 4 years outside the top 20, with a strong 115% quarter-on-quarter rise in demand. A long-time pillar of casual subculture, the brand garnered mainstream attention this quarter, supported by the halo effect of Oasis's reunion shows. Oh! So Oasis members were wearing Stone Island. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that people were like searching Stone Island because they were wearing Stone Island. Okay, that's cool. Is Nike back? A 7% rise in demand on Lyst this quarter predicts a comeback, maybe odds, with 2 products in the hottest list, the Nike Shox and the Nike X Jacquemus Moon shoe. The brand proves that a combination of design, nostalgia, and collaboration remains a winning formula. Under the new CEO, Elliot Hill, appointed at the end of 2024, Nike back to performance and innovation to focus on athlete-led design and strategic partnerships, including the Nike Skims collaboration that launched at the very end of the quarter. From the research I've been doing, though, the Nike Skims collaboration hasn't really been doing so well, to be honest. It really hasn't. It really hasn't. He said the answer was right under I was British. Nice. It really was. Taken together, Q3's results reveal a fashion landscape regaining volatile seasons. New creative leads are still settling, but those with a defined direction like Saint Laurent, the Loewe and COS are proving that conviction is the key to clarity. It's time for brands to be brave. The world's hottest aren't following the rhythm. They are setting the tempo. I'm not going to lie, these Jacquemus and Moon shoes have been growing on me. I still wouldn't wear it. It's not my style. But I do think that they've grown on me. Okay, so let's look at... So the hottest piece is still flip-flops. So we've gone from the Loewe flip-flops to different flip-flops. So people literally are willing to spend like silly amounts of money on just like flip-flops. Fascinating. The 2 to 4 makes sense. The Saint Laurent loafers, I've seen those everywhere. The Loewe loafers, I've seen them everywhere. The chunky cashmere sweaters, I've seen those. The Skims pierced nipple push-up bra, I've seen those. The Jacquemus shoes, I've seen those. I've seen a lot of people in Shox. I haven't actually seen the Servette really buzzing. I know the polo dresses because of Taylor Swift. The coach, I agree with like 8 out of 10 of the products that I'm seeing on this list in terms of see people talking about, what I see people wearing, the conversations I see people have online. There's definitely alignment there. Let's look at brands moving fast. Norhammer, known for sharply tailored leather outerwear, the Paris-based label blends Parisian polish with a subversive biker-inspired edge. Being worn by Kendall Jenner, Gigi Hadid, Rosie Huntington, Whiteley, and Hailey Bieber. Why is it always the same names? It's always Rosie, Gigi, Kendall, and Hailey. It's like always the same girlies, like always the same rotation. At Nike, a global benchmark for performance and innovation. They kind of touched on this earlier. Nike fuses sport, culture, and design into generation-defining products. Worn by Jacob Elordi, Jennifer Lawrence, Dakota Johnson, and Kendrick Lamar. Oh my God, so let me give you guys some tea about Nike, right? Because, so Nike... obviously has been struggling as of late. They've been struggling to really capture the zeitgeist. There have been companies like On Running, like what other companies are there apart from On Running? Even doing really well recently. Adidas also with like things like the Sambas and the Gazelles and stuff like that. So they just haven't been able to capture the zeitgeist the way other brands have captured the zeitgeist. And I actually found out that a lot of the reasons why brands like On Running were really exploding was because a lot of the people that work at On Running, like the marketing people, the execs, are people from Nike. So I found out through like just knowing a lot of people that work at Nike now that apparently a lot of people who had really good ideas, but they felt like their ideas weren't being taken seriously, or people weren't, using their ideas, taking their ideas on board when they're working at Nike, got so frustrated. So like a bunch of them quit and just all went to like On Running and like different startups. And like all their ideas were used at those companies. And those were the same ideas that basically came back to bite Nike. So Nike learned that they should have listened to these ideas, and they need to take heed to what like younger people are telling them with how the market is changing. And now Nike has thrown money at all these people and hired them back. And that's why Nike is having a resurgence, because now they're having those people with the fresh ideas. So yeah, very, very fascinating. Moving on, Madewell, a heritage American brand built on denim and ease. Madewell champions on fussy, timeless staples that balance comfort with quiet style. Quarter rise in demand is 34%. So that's very interesting. But yeah, guys, that is the Lyst Index in total. That was really fun. It's always good to see kind of what products are trending, what people are really talking about, what people are obsessed with. That's always nice. Also, thank you, Privacy Advocate, for becoming a channel member. Just for your info, because you're a channel member, you have access to like all the channel member videos. I posted a Glenn Martin's interview like yesterday, and then a few days before that, I posted an interview with JC Churro. So when you have the time, definitely check out those videos. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.